Hey everybody, Rock DIY here. My son just purchased a Model 3 Tesla rear wheel drive. We live in Asheville, North Carolina. We had to purchase it in Charlotte, North Carolina. And just for background, we don't have a garage, so we can't install a charger in a garage. So the charger had to be installed outside, and basically what this video is all about is the actual costs involved. This is for an individual who decides to install the charger themselves, and I would highly caution anybody who decides to do a DIY install to be very careful. Take all safety precautions, and if you don't feel safe about it, just don't do it. Unfortunately, if you can't do it, or you feel that it's not safe, it's going to be pretty costly to have it installed depending on your install. For example, in a garage, new wires may need to be run unless they already exist. So you got the cost of the wire, you got the cost of having to repair drywall, paint the drywall, depending on what process is used to install. In my case, I don't have a garage, so mine was completely outside, and maybe more work or less work depending on how you decide to do it. In my case, I've got a post here, I've got conduit, junction boxes, I've got the wall connector itself, got a reflector on the front just for a little extra safety so it doesn't get hit, even though there is a green light on the front that stays on all the time. As I mentioned, I've got a conduit on the back side that runs through the back into the wall connector. I've got 6-3 wire hardwired into the wall connector. The junction box goes down into the ground to a 90-degree elbow, comes over here, another 90-degree going this way. I had to use a Kubota BX23S tractor with a backhoe to do this work. I dug about 2 feet down from there to there, and then 2 feet down across this gravel walkway, through here, and then down over there in that corner, and the wire runs around the corner. And then the wire runs all the way from this end of the house. The house is 60 feet long, and the breaker box is about 48 feet that way. So with this 6-3 cable that I purchased, I did get 125 feet because you can get 75 or you can get 125. I had to get 125, and the 125 ran to $521.09. So it's pretty expensive wire. The wall connector is $453 with tax. The 6-3 wire was $521.09. The actual circuit breaker that's in the circuit breaker box is $15.28, and that's a 220 volt 2-pole circuit breaker. The conduit, I had bought 4 1-inch by 10-foot pieces of conduit, bought 3 90-degree elbows. Well, the 4 10-foot pieces of conduit was $50.32. The 90-degree elbows, about 3 of those, that was a total of $4.92. The conduit bodies or junction boxes, there's 2 of them, and those were $10.28 or $5.14 each. And then I had to also purchase 2 couplers where I had to cut some conduit and then rejoin them with a coupler. I also bought wall clamps. You can see there's one there and there's one there. Came in a bag of 5, and the bag of 5 was $2.48. That's the cost for everything. Of course, it doesn't take into account my time and labor. And then I don't know for sure how much the gas cost for my tractor. My tractor is a diesel tractor. I think I used half a tank. It's only a 5-gallon tank, so it was probably $10 of gas. And then the paint that's on the post and the conduit, that was already on hand. I've had it for a while. And then PVC glue, I already had that on hand as well. Some things to take into account is if you decide to use a contractor, all the parts are more than likely going to cost more if a contractor purchases them to be installed. And in some cases, contractors don't like when you buy everything and ask them to install it. They want to be able to buy their own parts to do the install. If a contractor did the same thing that I've done, of course I would be paying for the use of a tractor and digging the trench to lay the conduit. There would be the labor cost and then the install cost. So I did mention all the stuff I had to buy, and I'll sum all that up. I didn't write it down what the total cost was for all the parts, but just take into account that what the parts cost for me to buy is definitely going to be cheaper than what it would cost a contractor to purchase, because there's going to be markup on all the parts. If a professional installer had come and did the same thing, the installation would have been anywhere from $750 to $1,500, and that $750 is definitely on the low end. $1,500, but don't $1,500 is definitely not high, because it can definitely be much higher than that, like $2,000 to $3,000 to do an install. And like I mentioned previously, you know, if you're doing a garage and all new wire needs to be run and everything, the walls got to be repaired and painted. That's going to be even more money and more parts and more repair.